I'm Molly.
I'm Julie.
And I'm Jen.
And welcome to Folks Forever, a Lois and Clark rewatch podcast.
We're three fans who've been loving L&C since 1993.
Each week we'll recap one episode and talk about at least one L&C related topic.
If you would like to learn more about who we are, how we became folks, and or how we became friends, check out our intro episode.
Today we're going to be discussing Season 1, Episode 17, The Rival. We'll also be talking about one of the most creative and fun L&C fan websites from the 90s. What was it? Stay tuned.
I feel all fancy.
You look great. You outdid yourself, for sure. Like, you look like Clark Kent. You look like Lois dressed like Clark.
There we go.
Just need like a mustache and you could infiltrate a stolen car ring or something.
There you go. Get into the men's club.
The Rival first aired on February 27th, 1994. Let's talk about the February 1994 issue of Teen Beat.
Ooh.
There were 10 people on the cover that month, including our very own Superman. He shared the spotlight with Mark-Paul Gosselaar, Luke Perry, Jonathan Brandis, Joey Lawrence, Tiffany Amber Thiessen, Edward Furlong, Will Estes, and the Strong brothers, Ryder and Shiloh. Inside that magazine, Lois and Clark got a 2-page spread with 3 promo photos and some quotes. The magazine also had an interview with Scott Weiner, an article about the then new series The Nanny, and yet another article about how Mark Wahlberg, aka Marky Mark, was trying to break into acting. Good luck with that.
Right.
Did you guys ever get those teen mags?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Always.
Where all my money went.
I would, anytime we were in the store, I'd flip through as many as I could, as quickly as I could, just to see if there was anything.
Uh-huh. Same.
I would never rip them out. Never.
Oh.
What? In the stores?
Not in the
What?
store, but no. Not in the store, but I did do it at like dentist's office and things like that. I'd rip it out quietly.
Yeah.
You're allowed. They don't care, right?
They don't care. Yeah.
Every episode had a title. Sometimes those titles had meaning behind them, but I'm not really sure about this one. It's probably just one of those straightforward ones. The Rival might refer to Lois and Linda, who are both romantic rivals and now they're rivals in the journalism world. It could also refer to the Metropolis Star itself, which is a rival for the Daily Planet. Well, before we get into our actual episode synopsis, we each have our very own summaries in 16 words or less. Mine is: another blonde woman pursues Clark, Lois gets jealous, Superman makes rough rescues, Lois cleans her grout.
Nice. Mine is Lois's ex-friend swipes her scoop and Clark. Lois can't decide which betrayal stings more.
Ooh, that's a good one. I like it. Mine is: Lois goes crazy after an old friend keeps out scooping her on stories and steals Clark away.
Hey, I'm remembering something.
So I did not have this episode on tape until around 96, but I did actually see this one during the show's run. When a folk sent me the tape of it, I wasn't expecting to really remember anything because the plot didn't ring any bells. But then I was like, oh yeah, I totally remember this. So 3 main things that stuck out to me. One was Clark hiding on the ceiling, because I remember when And the Answer Is aired and he did that, I was like, I've seen this before, because it's this episode. I also remember him knocking over the plant to stop the guys from coming in the door. And the whole thing with Linda's cell phone, because that was so novel in 1994 to have a plot where, oh no, like you can carry your phone everywhere and it's great, but like also can get you into trouble if it starts ringing and all this. So I thought that was really fun. And those were my memories of my first time seeing it.
Should have had that on vibrate. Not
I don't
smart.
think we had that back
I was
then.
gonna say, I don't even know if it had that back then.
No, I'm
On
pretty
my
sure it
first
didn't.
phone, I don't think we did.
Yeah. I don't remember a ton. I remember Lois being adorably jealous. I kind of remember the hiding scene where, they're in the office and Clark has to find a hiding spot, like you said. That was a cute part. But I mean, I don't know, no real big plot memories. Just I replayed the episode like it was my full-time job because I thought it was cute because, Lois is jealous. So I was living for that.
The only memory I have from the first time watching it is Al from Quantum Leap. That's the only thing I remember is, oh, it's Al, because I loved Quantum Leap then. Other than that, no, I don't remember anything from my first viewing of this episode.
Jen, will you tell us about the guest stars for this episode?
Sure. So we have Dean Stockwell, played Preston Carpenter. He was best known for Quantum Leap, Dune, Married to the Mob, and The Tony Danza Show. And his father was the voice of Prince Charming in Disney's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs,
Ooh.
which is pretty cool. Nancy Everhard played Linda King. She's best known for The Punisher, Another 48 Hours, The Untouchables, and she also did the shows Everwood and Reasonable Doubts. Bo Jackson played Bo Jackson. I learned stuff about this guy because I don't know sports, but he was a famous football player for the LA Raiders, and he also played baseball for the Kansas City Royals and the Chicago White Sox and the California Angels. Bo knows a lot of sports, apparently. Kevin Cooney played Secretary Wallace. He's best known for Austin Powers in Goldmember and The Spy Who Shagged Me. And he was the head of admissions in one of my favorites, Legally Blonde, which is kind of cool. Mike Sabatino played J. Harvey Stark. He was best known for Batman Forever, NYPD Blue, and White Cargo. And last but not least, I feel like this person needs a shout out. Dana Shalette played Fire Chief. Her only credit is Lois and Clark.
I was like, who is that?
I don't know. I just felt bad leaving one person out. I mean, so yeah.
Aw.
There you go, Dana.
Everyone's important. So for Dean Stockwell, I also know he was in Battlestar Galactica because we used
Hmm.
to watch that show as well. He was in that a lot.
Oh, cool.
And something that I would like to point out, I don't know if you guys watch this, but I always think of Lois and Clark anytime this movie gets brought up or it's shown or I watch it. The Langoliers. He was in
The
that movie.
Langoliers! Yes! We
Yes.
should watch that next year because it's around the time it came out.
Hmm.
Because it's got three people from Lois and Clark in it.
It does. And
I've never
I
heard of
always
this
link
show.
it in my brain. It links to Lois and Clark because there were commercials on during Lois and Clark. And I
Yep.
don't remember if it preempted Lois and Clark for a
No,
week.
I
Was
think
it
it was
on like a Saturday?
after, it was after
Something.
Wine, Wine, Wine. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, it was one of those things. Yeah.
I
And I
have
was
never
like,
heard of
oh,
the
he was in
show
the
in
line.
my
And
life.
when he showed up in that, I was like, oh, it's it's Al again.
And the prankster.
Nice.
And the prankster. Yeah.
Wow, that'd be fun.
Look at You've never seen it, Jen? That's a great movie.
Mm-mm.
I love
Uh-uh.
it.
I'm down.
So, I'd like to take a moment to talk about the director and writers for this episode. We don't often acknowledge them verbally, but I do put their names in our pod show notes. And of course, the IMDb is a great place to look for those names too. Well, this episode was directed by Michael Watkins. He previously directed Illusions of Grandeur, and he would go on to direct Operation Blackout, Wine, 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 Ordinary People, and Chip Off the Old Clark. But before Lois and Clark, he directed 6 episodes of Quantum Leap, including the Christmas episode A Little Miracle, which featured, well, of course, Dean Stockwell, but also Jarrett Lennon, Nick from Illusions of Grandeur, and Charles Rocket,
Hmm.
Ryan from Operation Blackout. So all these
Ah.
actors were in episodes he directed of Quantum Leap, and then they were in episodes of Lois and Clark that he directed. And another connection was he directed the Quantum Leap episode Hurricane, which featured actor Bill Irwin, and he also would appear in Operation Blackout. So he had some influence with casting, I am sure. Michael Watkins also went on to direct 2 episodes of Smallville, and he's done a ton of other stuff. The writers of this episode were Tony Blake and Paul Jackson, and this was the first episode they wrote for Lois and Clark. But during season 2, they were supervising producers, and they wrote 6 other episodes: Madam X, The Source, Metallo, The Phoenix, Target Jimmy Olsen, and The Answer Is. Then they worked on Sliders, The Pretender, and Charmed, plus a few other shows, and they haven't had any credits in the past few years, but I hope wherever they are now, they know that they've done a lot of work that I appreciate. Well, let's get into our episode. The episode begins with what sadly will be the last of the pre-credit sequences that have no bearing on the episode. This time, a glasses-less Clark plays a game of one-on-one basketball against Bo Jackson. I know I've speculated about whether or not these are supposed to be Clark's weird dreams. This one, the baseball sequence from Requiem, the recycling nonsense from Pheromone. But yeah, this one has to be a dream. Clark isn't wearing his glasses, and he ends up flying to stop one of Bo's shots. But it's fine. We get the Bo knows joke in there, which of course was a reference to the early 90s Nike commercials featuring Bo Jackson.
The Bo don't know that.
Ugh.
Bo don't know that.
I hated this when I was a kid. I hated this sequence. I mean, I thought it was fun because, he's not wearing his glasses. I didn't care about the sports stuff. I thought, wow, Clark, you're being real dumb. It made no sense to the rest of the episode. I just didn't care for it. I didn't know who Bo was. Like, I'm sorry, you're just some guy.
What I thought was interesting in the script, it said that this scene was shot like several months previous, and they just inserted it into this episode. So they must have just shot it thinking, oh, we'll eventually use this. Maybe Bo was on the set or something, and they were like, hey, let's do something. Who knows?
Yeah, makes sense.
But I've never seen them do that before where they've shot something way in advance and then just threw it in there.
So, is it in the script, or is there just like a note?
Yeah, it's a note that says use the scene in full that was shot on November, whatever.
Hmm.
Like, so maybe there
Oh.
really wasn't other than just play some basketball and say some lines.
After the credits, we're at the Daily Planet, where Perry is standing above a chalkboard that reads News, Paper, Circulation Comparisons. Daily Planet / Metropolis Star. This is Julie's favorite prop.
Yes.
The spelling of the word newspaper has caused some
Uh,
concern among folks.
You work at a newspaper and you can't spell newspaper. That's pretty
Mhm.
sad.
Yeah.
We learned that ever since Preston Carpenter took over ownership at the Star, that rival newspaper has been scooping not only a bunch of great headlines from the Daily Planet, but has even made off with some of the planet's readers. Daily Planet circulation is down, and that's not good. I do have to wonder, though. In a few episodes, we learned that Lex is doing a bunch of things behind the scenes to help the Daily Planet go under. Maybe he's already begun?
Ooh,
Is this our first glimpse of that?
maybe.
Could be.
It just seems too much like, oh, first the Metropolis Star makes the Daily Planet suffer, and then they're fine, and then Lex Luthor makes the Daily Planet suffer. What if those things are happening at the same time? Makes more sense to me, but
Yeah.
Lex is just on vacation for this week, so that's the only reason we don't see him.
so Perry tells the staff they need a really good headline for their next edition. Any suggestions for a topic? He asks. Clark pipes up.
Well, Secretary Wallace is in town to sign that nuclear arms treaty with Omir. We're waiting to hear on a one-on-one.
Lois rolls her eyes and says,
That'll really have them lining up at the newsstands.
yeah, sounds pretty boring, but Secretary Wallace will be semi-important to this episode, so hang tight. Perry tells his reporters that for 50 years, the Daily Planet's been the top dog in this town, and that the Metropolis Star has been a dirty little puppy nipping at our heels. Just like all the dog references for Jen here.
Okay.
He implies that unless the Daily Planet is able to stand up to the Star and win some readers back, things might get a little grim at the planet. Perry is saying that what they really need is a good scandal, a crime wave. Just then, Jimmy runs up shouting, Hotel fire! Perry says, That'll do. Perry. Jimmy
Jeez.
explains that there's a woman trapped on a ledge and that the fire department ladders can't reach her. Perry is elated and tells Lois and Clark to shake some tail.
And then high fives Jimmy.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Somebody
death and
might die.
destruction.
Yay!
Woohoo!
It almost seemed like the start of a movie, the way the music got into it, and then they're like cheering each other on. I don't know. It seems that was a kind of a cool scene to
A
watch.
little bit
I thought,
epic.
even though it was cheesy and not very empathetic.
Just as Lois and Clark are getting into the elevator, Clark jumps back out, telling Lois, I forgot something. You go ahead, I'll catch up. The doors close on Lois giving Clark an indignant look. Clark then loosens his tie. We cut to the building on fire. There is indeed a woman up on a ledge. She's yelling for help, and then suddenly there's an explosion, and the woman falls, screaming. Just before she hits the ground, Superman catches her. Superman Superman hands the woman over to the EMTs, and then there's a reporter who introduces herself as Linda King, Metropolis Star. She's holding a cell phone, asking Superman questions into the phone, like it's being relayed back to, her workplace. Only this conversation really doesn't make any sense. Linda asks Superman what it was like up there, and Superman answers that the smoke was intense and that the visibility was almost zero. Superman, if you were already up there by the fire, why didn't you rescue the woman when she was still on the ledge? No.
Right?
Superman goes on to say, I'm just lucky the woman held on long enough for me to get there. A mother with 3 children. It would have been awful. How do you know she has 3 children, Superman? I know there's this whole thing with Kryptonians and telepathy, but really, I don't even know.
Did they
This
have a
is what I wrote down
conversation?
as well. How did he know that? Because she was clearly passed out when he
Yeah.
caught her. Maybe he was listening to like the police scanners or something on his flight over. Like, how would he know that? He wouldn't know
No.
that.
Did he get
I'm
into
also
her, see her ID and like do a quick background check before he picked
because
her
this
up?
is it. I am annoyed of the way he not gently saves this woman, and he does something similar later in the episode, where rather than catch them when they're up, and this is the same thing going back to Pheromone, where he when he rescued
Wait.
Lois in a kind of a rough way and let her drop. I
Yeah.
understand why they do this because budget and it's easier, but it
Hmm.
makes Superman look like a jerk. So do better.
Wait till they're about to splat.
And then be like clunk, yeah. Don't clunk, Superman.
Also, why? I don't know if I should, maybe I should bring this up in goof. It's not really a goof, so I'll bring it up. Why they said that the fire ladders couldn't reach her? There was like the fire escape stairs right next to her.
They weren't
They
even
could have
trying,
went
man.
they could have went up the stairs. Or they
We're
could have
spending
had,
way, yeah,
there could have been somebody at least standing on those stairs like they were
like
attempting. They weren't even
reaching.
trying. They were like, ah,
They were
well,
on a
it's fine.
budget. They were on a budget this week. They just couldn't stretch. Yeah.
Or, had a big sheet at the bottom at the ground, like ready to catch
Uh-huh.
her or something.
Yeah.
Just nothing. Nothing.
All the
They're like, it's
things,
fine.
all the things we would do differently. So after talking to Linda King, Superman flies off. The fire's not out yet, but he flies off, and just then Lois pulls up in a cab. She pushes her way through the crowd, spots Linda, and says, What are you doing here? Here we learn that Lois and Linda King know each other, but that they haven't seen each other in 6 years since graduation, and that they obviously have a strained relationship because Linda immediately makes a kind of underhanded comment. Lois says she's not starting this, and that she's here on business for the Daily Planet. Linda reveals that she's working for the Metropolis Star. Oh, yeah, and that she already spoke to Superman, who did an excellent save and gave her a great quote for her article. Ha ha on you, Lois, apparently. Says Linda to Lois, I believe you've just been scooped.
That
This
was kind
woman,
of unnecessary. Like a little catty.
yeah.
I don't know. Why? Why? Why
Hmm.
do you gotta be like that?
Linda starts it for sure. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah. Lois eventually starts hitting back, but boy, at the beginning, it's all Linda.
Hmm. They're setting her up to be bad.
I guess saying, "What are you doing here?" isn't the nicest way to say hi to someone.
Yeah, yeah. But it's
Not,
not
not
like
really.
it's not as mean as Linda takes it a little too far.
Back at the Daily Planet, we're in the lobby, and Lois is all melancholy, and Clark's trying to cheer her up. He tells her that getting scooped happens, and now she's just got to focus on her next story. She says, "Spare me the Smallville pep talk. I wasn't just scooped. A hideous part of my past just reared its ugly head." Clark attempts some humor, suggesting that Lois is being overly dramatic.
It was a dark day for the Daily Planet when Linda King rode into town.
Lois pushes back, trying to convince him that Linda King sucks.
But Clark's an idiot, though.
Yeah,
Clark is an idiot. Why you gotta stoke the fire? Like, you know she's
Hmm.
mad. He just makes things worse. And also, he could have, as Superman, given Lois the same scoop, knowing the planet needs something, and knowing he gave it to them. He could have given it to her too. They can both report on the same thing,
Totally.
or he could report on it.
He's it's not like it's, oh, sorry, I already told all of the gossip to this other newspaper, so I can't
Right.
tell you it's a secret. Like,
Yeah, we can't write about it. Like, they could still
mhm.
write
yeah.
about it.
Right.
That part of the episode didn't make sense because then I think when I was younger watching it, I mean, I knew that this wasn't true, but they were making it sound like if one newspaper writes about a news
Hmm.
event, no other newspapers can. And
Yeah,
that's absolutely not true.
Hmm.
right. But then we wouldn't have a story.
I know
True.
they gotta
So,
have the plot. Gotta have the plot.
Yeah.
Just then, into the lobby walks the hideous part of Lois's past herself, Linda King. Linda is acting super friendly, holding her hand out to Lois and saying, "I thought we could get reacquainted." Lois brushes her off, but Clark acts polite. Before Lois storms away, she says to Linda, "One more thing. Stay away from Superman." Lois doesn't go far, of course. She makes a goofy attempt at hiding behind things while she spies on Clark and Linda's ensuing conversation.
I loved that part because Lois was being silly and like sneaking around. It was just there was some comedy in there, and it was fun to watch. Like she's jealous, she's watching, is she stealing like you could see everything in her eyes, like bitch stole my story, and now she's going after Clark. And then Linda's just so awful that I don't know. I always enjoyed that part.
So it turns out the main reason Linda's actually come to the Daily Planet is because she knows the Daily Planet has a Superman connection and she'd really like to talk to Superman again. She's hoping for an introduction, but Clark politely declines. And this is maybe the one sensible thing he does in the first half of this episode.
Hmm.
Clark and Linda kind of chat back and forth. Clark says that he read Linda's article on the hotel fires and that she did a good work. He also mentions that he appreciated the editorial that Linda's publisher, Preston Carpenter, wrote about making changes to the fire department, which I think we can agree. The change is needed is that a fire truck needs to show up next time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
they
exactly.
could definitely use some changes. Yep. Hmm.
And Clark says that Preston is a powerful writer. Linda then tells Clark that Preston's having a party tonight. She invites Clark to come, but not as her date. She already has one. She tells him he can bring a date, so he agrees to come. After Linda leaves, Lois asks Clark what Linda wanted. Clark fibs a bit and tells Lois that Linda wanted to invite the two of them to Preston's party. Lois is ticked. Clark says, "We might learn something."
Oh, I'm sure that's the only reason Clark Kent All-American Boy wants to go.
What time should I pick you up?
You will not be picking me up. I'll meet you there at 7.
Way to hold the power, Lois.
I love how Clark just went over to Lois as soon as he knew
Mhm.
that he needed a date. There was no thinking about it. It was just, oh, okay, I'm gonna go over to Lois and we're gonna go to on this thing and
Well, it's either her or Cat, so yeah.
choose wisely.
I was just thinking, well, Cat's not in this episode, spoiler alert, but I always
Uh-uh.
wondered what it would have been like if she was. Like she should Poor Lois
Yeah.
probably just would have died with all these
Oh,
catty,
gosh.
snappy women like flinging insults at each other. Or maybe Kat could have been on Lois's side and helped her take down Linda. I don't know. Next, we're at this party, and Lois is wearing a blue dress. And when Clark sees her, he says, "You look incredible." Her response, "Have you seen Linda?" Lois is worried about what Linda's wearing. A minute later, Linda's there and she greets them and then leads them over to introduce them to her date. And on the way makes a total dig at Lois's outfit. Lois looks ready to commit murder, but Clark touches her arm like, "Oh boy, don't kill her in front of all these people." So they meet Linda's date, and it's none other than Preston Carpenter. Linda introduces Clark and then rudely introduces Lois as Clark's date. But Clark is quick to put in that he and Lois are actually a reporting team for the Daily Planet. Preston's all, "Ah, yes, the Daily Planet. It was a fine paper in its day, but things change." He says something about how you either make it happen or it happens to you. Preston's then called away, and Lois has finally collected herself enough to fling a jab at Linda. But then Linda says, "Lois, you don't mind if Clark and I dance, do you?" Linda then hands Lois her drink and drags Clark onto the dance floor.
Rude.
Yeah.
So Clark looks slightly apologetic, although, dude, just dig your heels in next time. You don't have to be dragged anywhere. You know this, right? Well, anyway.
Did you did you see that Lois actually was drinking
I
Linda's drink?
mean,
Oh no,
She's-
really?
yep.
yeah. She's like, I need a drink. So she drinks it.
That's awesome. That's
Was
good.
Clark and Linda begin to dance. Clark initially puts his hand on the middle of Linda's back and then realizes that her dress has a huge cut out there and he quickly moves it down to where she's covered. He's like, "Ooh, oops.
Oops,
Excuse
skin.
me, gentlemen." Well, back at the Daily Planet, Jimmy is looking at a copy of the Metropolis Star's Society section where there is a photo of Clark and Linda dancing. So this is the next day, I guess. Lois walks in and we learn that she's been investigating the hotel fire. Investigators think it might be arson. She sees the newspaper that Jimmy has and asks why he's looking at that. And he callously tells her about the photo of Clark and Linda. Lois looks like she is about to cry as she sits down at her desk and says, "I need some good news." Jimmy, sorry, he doesn't have that setting apparently. He just tells her that the Daily Planet announced that they're cutting expense accounts and there might be more cuts coming. I'm sad that Jimmy's whole purpose in this episode is just to be a giant downer.
Yeah.
Clark isn't at his desk, so Lois asks Jimmy where Clark is, and Jimmy says, "I think he had a lunch date with Linda King." Lois says, "If anybody wants me, I'll be at the Fudge Castle on my own money." And off she goes.
One of my favorite lines from this episode, right there.
Right. So if expense accounts were not going away, would she have expensed her Fudge Castle receipt? Sounds
You
like
I
know,
it.
don't know about
she likes to
that.
work.
Sounds like it. If work is stressing you out, go get some Fudge Castle.
Yeah.
If only.
We cut to a restaurant where Clark and Linda are talking about this and that. Linda tries to throw shade at Lois, but Clark sweetly defends his partner. Linda asks Clark, "What exactly is your relationship with Lois?" He says, "It's not defined." "Defined, not defined," she says, annoyingly. But before Clark can answer that impossible question, Linda's phone rings. She tells the caller where she is, then hangs up. We find out that it's Preston Carpenter calling and that he likes to know where his reporters are at all times. She goes on to tell Clark that the reason she was present at the hotel fire and got there before Lois was because she had already been at the hotel on another assignment when the fire broke out. And just then, the two of them hear sirens approaching. They drop some money on the table, run out to the lobby. Well, Linda runs out to the lobby. Clark changes into Superman, and then he stops a plummeting elevator from hitting the ground. Again, not gently. How are those people still standing? I do not know. Well, Linda swipes a camera from a random onlooker and snaps photos of Superman's heroic rescue. She's okay, I have to give that to her. That was kind of
Like,
smart.
that's
Yeah.
rude.
It's
Yeah.
rude, but it's smart.
Then what'd she do? Take all the film that has their vacation footage on it?
She probably paid him
Or
like $100
or
and
they both go
Yeah.
to the 1 hour photo place and they split up their photo. Okay, these are yours, these are mine. Like what?
Next, we're at the office of Preston Carpenter. Carpenter's henchman, Stark, hands him a copy of the afternoon edition of the Star, and the photos Linda took are on the front page. Carpenter congratulates Stark, and Stark says, "This wasn't easy." Carpenter says, "I wouldn't need your services if it was easy." Stark wants to know how many more. Carpenter says, "As many as it takes to kill the Daily Planet. Because then, Stark, I will control over 80% of what the American people read."
And when you control what they read, you control what they think. And when you control what they think, then you can really begin to make it happen.
His
Uh,
acting was so hard to watch. I know, like,
evil genius.
okay. No, but it's so, I don't know if he's trying to encompass this like super villain type thing. It's just a little over the top for
It's
me.
a little 40s villain to me. Like,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not exactly his Charles Foster King. It's not him he's doing. He's not making an
Mhm.
impression on that. It is sort of like a gangster, 40s gangster vibe to me.
Mhm.
Yeah, his
Yeah.
acting, that's not how he normally sounds for sure.
Okay. Well, I was just going, what director gave you these notes that you need to go there? Because I'm just seeing too much.
It was a
But
bit over the top. But hey, plus like 80% of what people read, that seems like a very high over exaggeration.
yeah,
If he owns other newspapers or other magazines as well, which
maybe, yeah.
I guess. I guess there's no internet really, so I guess that could be
True.
true.
So Perry is showcasing the Daily Planet's cover story to the newsroom. The headline reads, "Are we in a drought?" He's miffed that the Metropolis Star has scooped them yet again on a major headline. Superman is the biggest story of the day on the opposing paper, and all the planet has is a graph, like on their front page. So Lois takes the opportunity to call out Clark for having lunch with Linda and letting her scoop him on the story.
she's not wrong. He was right there. Why did he have
Mhm.
nothing?
Again, he's kind of just letting things slip through his fingers. The phone rings. Jimmy picks up, and it's the publisher. And Perry is suddenly worried that the newspaper might be in trouble.
Yeah, Perry's all upset about the front page, but isn't he the one that approves this? Isn't he the one that was like, "Yep, that's good. Go with
Yeah,
it."
yeah.
Well,
But I
he
guess
is, but he's just
they didn't give him a
reprimanding
better
them that it's
option.
so awful. Yeah, he's like, "This, how come you guys couldn't come up with anything better? I had to go with this last night. I had no other choice, and it sucks."
Could have at least done the pie chart in color. Just black and
Exactly.
white.
I
Black
know.
and white pie chart's pretty bad.
Use your noggin. Come on, Perry.
Harry's partial to blame. That's my
I did
saying. That's,
like
he's part
I
to blame.
yeah. I did like how Jimmy came to the table and was like, "Well, you see the he tried to explain the graph." I thought that was comedic gold, kind of like, "Love you, Jimmy."
And the return of Jimmy's photographer mug. It's back.
Oh, it's back. Nice. I didn't notice
Yay.
that.
I don't know why I noticed mugs. They all have their correct mugs in this episode.
Yeah, good. Nice. So everyone leaves the meeting, and Clark goes to his desk to look over the Metropolis Star's headline. He uses his little supervision thing to zoom in on the picture of Superman and notices the crowd around him. seeing some guy with an earring and all the other people.
Why is this
Meanwhile,
suspicious?
I know because later on it's going to come into play, but for whatever reason, he's zooming
Yeah.
in directly on it. So he's like, oh, mental note. But did he not zoom in on, like, he didn't notice anything else suspicious? It's just,
It was just the
just
earring.
I mean, in
premonition.
Maybe,
1994, an earring was a bit suspicious.
I guess so. Or maybe Jimmy's already told him that he should get an earring and he's considering it.
Oh,
He's just
yeah. He's
looking
like,
to
oh,
see what
look
it
at that
looks
one.
like.
Maybe this
Like,
is
oh,
more
that's
my
a cool
style.
one.
Little dangly one.
Oh my gosh.
Would Lois like me in this one?
I think that was second Jimmy, but it could have been this
Yeah.
Jimmy.
Yeah, it could have, you never know. Maybe he planted the seed. Good times. Meanwhile, Lois looks over from pouring a cup of coffee and sees Clark completely engrossed in this Metropolis Star newspaper.
I know Linda's writing style is absolutely mesmerizing, but please try not to drool.
Clark asks her how long she's going to be mad, and they bicker a little, and Clark accuses Lois of being a little jealous.
You think I'm infatuated with Linda King?
And she responds with,
I wouldn't care if you were infatuated with Don King. What I care about is the quality of reporting at the Planet.
Well, finally, a callback to the boxing, you know?
yeah.
But never
exactly.
again.
Yeah, no.
Clark then pulls out a thick piece of cord and tells her to get excited. She's puzzled and gives a wonderful deadpan, saying, I see it. When do I get happy? Clark explains that it's the elevator cable, and the end is not frayed. It's smooth like it's been cut.
Can we talk about Clark stealing evidence from a crime scene? And how
Right?
it's
Yeah.
cute when he steals things out of a garbage sack. It's cute when he steals a bottle of
Mhm.
perfume. But when you take the key piece of
Yeah.
evidence from a crime scene, no, no, Clark.
Right.
Bad.
Yeah.
Is he gonna get in trouble for that once the story comes out? Like, you stole that. But also,
It's
he could have given
tampered with.
Perry a little bit of hope that there was something in the works.
Yeah.
When Perry's all upset that they have nothing going on, nobody has any stories, nothing, he could have been like, well, hey, I have something.
Don't
No,
call the
Yeah.
police.
he just lets Perry be all upset.
Perry's somewhere sulking, and meanwhile, Lois is like, excited puppy dog, like, woo,
Get me
woo
a
for what?
messenger.
I know. So suddenly, Lois gets that spark back, realizing that the accident was no accident. Someone did it maliciously. So she's excited and she can't wait to scoop Linda. They talk, and Clark suggests that they get the lab to confirm the theory because heaven forbid he's wrong. Lois calls for a messenger.
Messenger! Get me a messenger!
Lois, why don't we sit down, grab a bite to eat, calm down. You seem a little tense.
Tense? No, I am not tense. I am perfectly fine. I am just perfectly fine. Are you the messenger?
No.
Get me the messenger!
Get me the
Get me
messenger.
the messenger.
So at the Metropolis Press Club, Clark and Lois are sitting at a table, and Lois goes on about the potential elevator cable story. They debate who might benefit from someone dying in an elevator, and they go over like insurance fraud, a greedy business owner, but basically they're stumped. Just then, someone drops a stack of promotional newspapers on their table, and it's the Metropolis Star. Every customer gets a free copy. Clark starts reading, and Lois is offended. He points out how odd it is that Carpenter already has an editorial out about the elevator accident, especially considering how fast he wrote it after the story broke.
Did anyone notice the music in the background?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say Molly did. Jen,
Oh, yeah.
No? Oh,
Nope.
yeah.
What's the music?
It's the same music from their first date.
I did not.
Yeah.
I don't know that I ever would have picked up on that.
Oh, you can hear it a
It
lot
was-
louder in Lucky Leon, and it's very
Yeah.
brief in this one, but it's there.
It's very quiet, yeah. But it's there. And I was like, oh, it's the same music.
Nice. Lois briefly leaves and then tells Clark what she wants, and he can order for her.
Angel hair, tomato and basil, no olive oil, extra Parmesan cheese. Lois has complicated orders.
Lois likes
Oh,
cheese.
yeah. Chocolate and cheese.
In the script, it wasn't complicated at all. It was just linguine pesto.
Ooh, that
So
sounds good.
I'll go with the angel hair. I think that sounds better.
Angel hair also is good. Look, if it's pasta, it's a yes. Unless there's shrimp or seafood in it, then it's a no. At another table, Carpenter sits with Linda King, throwing out compliments on her page one work. He rambles about his idol, a movie character who not only reported the news but made it. I got a little confused here. Why is he talking about this? And where did it come from?
Yeah, Charles Foster Kane from Citizen Kane.
Yeah, but
Um,
should I know about that? Is that something that people already know about? I don't even know about it.
well, it's considered by some to be like one of the greatest films of all time.
Cool.
At least it was one of the greatest for a long time. It's if you take a
Hmm.
film class, you're gonna watch it. Um,
Okay. Well, shoot, I
Jen
missed out on
doesn't
that one.
Jen
it's
doesn't look interested.
I think most of our
Uh,
parents who would have caught the reference, maybe, but us kids
okay.
obviously are gonna be like, "What the heck?"
Yeah.
Because we wouldn't have been watching this as kids at
Right.
all.
No.
Okay.
No.
That makes sense. So anyway, slowly it becomes clear that he's behind the accidents and he slides his hand across the table to kind of like touch her and make his move. What's worse? A slimy jerk who tries to control people or a slimy jerk who thinks he's attractive and makes these unwanted advances to women and a subordinate. This dude is like both and giving me the gross creep vibes. I do not like him at all. Sorry.
Not defending him at all, but to his little, tiny, minuscule credit, after this scene, he does back off until she comes, into him. He seems like he's gonna back
Yeah.
off and catch
He
the
did he
hint.
did take the no. He took the no and
Yeah.
didn't continue. So yeah,
Okay.
I
I
would give him
just
that, but he's still creepy.
Mhm.
Still
yeah.
creepy.
When you're in a position of power, I just don't think that that's something you should do to start with. So anyway, Linda politely calls him out and leaves. Go girl. Even though you're kind of rude to Lois, I'm rooting for you. Lois is now in the bathroom, digging in the garbage can looking for her bracelet when Linda, of course, walks in and asks if she's looking for her career. They exchange some snappy back and forth comments, and then Linda goes into talking about Clark's body. Lois gets a little territorial and tells her to stay away from him.
And his buns of steel.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They both storm back to the table, to the same table. Clark's there. And suddenly Clark finds himself the meat in a jealous reporter sandwich. I couldn't think of anything funny. I didn't know how to say that, but this is jealous reporter sandwich. There are two reporters. He's in the middle. I don't know.
Did you
You can
see
cut that
how
out.
Lois was going back to her seat to sit down and Linda pushes her out of the way?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That was funny.
They're
I'm like, nope,
so
I'm sitting here.
they don't like each other. Linda asks Clark to walk her to the train station, and Clark, trying to be polite, agrees, explaining that she probably just doesn't know her way around. Oh boy, Lois is furious. Clark tells her to trust him, promising that he'll be right back. And he heads off with Linda, leaving Lois sitting at the table alone.
Could have just called her a cab.
So Clark is walking with Linda, and she tries to coax him back to her place. Clark insists that Lois is waiting for him, but Linda keeps jabbering, twisting the knife. He goes, or no, what does she say? She goes, Lois should be used to disappointment. Geez, Linda.
It
Clark,
also
Ouch.
it sucks too because I don't know if Linda is aware that Clark, you know, adores Lois.
mhm,
To have somebody be standing there insulting somebody that you care about is
mhm,
not going to win you. I mean, unless you're in junior high, maybe, because you should know
right.
better than to listen to that kind of stuff. I'm glad Clark defends Lois. I'm glad he doesn't ultimately take Linda that seriously, but he should just be like, shut up about Lois get out of here. There's the train. Like, or
Mhm.
push her in front of, no, no, just
Yeah,
Push her in front of it.
here it
Exactly.
comes.
I'll
Whoop,
hook.
I
It's
helped you.
it's Metropolis. Where's
There.
that truck?
I helped her into the train, Lois. Oh, good job. Good
Yeah.
job.
Oh, good job.
It was a dark day in Metropolis.
Yikes.
So Clark finally drops her off and says goodnight, but she isn't done. She says,
Clark, you said your relationship with Lois was not defined.
Well, professionally, it is.
Well, if you ever want to redefine yourself professionally or personally.
There's a final boarding call from train 120 departing for Havana Station.
and with that, she boards the train and disappears. Now, speaking of giving it a rest, I feel like she should have picked up on some clues that maybe he's not interested. And like she's got this guy
Yeah.
pursuing her, and yet she's pursuing Clark, who's not interested. I just feel like, okay, you, out of all the people right now, should understand that here's a hint. Not interested. He's just not that into you. Go away. Like, just go on the train. Get out of here.
But he
Stop.
is sending some kind of, I don't know, because he does
You
dance
think?
with her. He doesn't say no. He does
Right.
agree to go out to lunch with her the very next day.
Yeah.
So
I
I
don't
would,
know.
if I were her, I would think he was interested. He's
Yeah. Now Lois is in her apartment rage cleaning. And this is a scene I can appreciate as an adult because I totally do this. She's cleaning her grout with a toothbrush.
another toothbrush.
I know. I've been wanting to start counting these toothbrushes because the toothbrush budget is like higher than the fire truck budget.
It's for sure.
There's a knock on the door and Lois yells out, "Who is it?" The girl is pissed. It's Clark. He apologizes, so she storms over to the door and unlocks all 12 of her deadbolts, and Clark walks in.
You didn't have to leave. I was only gone a few minutes.
I'm a busy person. I have things to do. I have to
What, scrub your grout? You were really letting this woman get to you, Lois.
get to me.
To which Lois twists around to reply, and she gets Clark all messy with her cleaning stuff. Then Lois kind of calms down and wipes off his jacket, and she goes into how she and Linda used to be best friends, and they were super competitive, and they had a falling out over some guy and a story that Linda stole from Lois. So Clark then goes,
So she stole a story, and she stole a guy, and now she's trying to do it again?
and Lois's response is,
Don't flatter yourself.
And
Clark
that's
shoots-
definitely what's happening.
uh-huh.
That's definitely what's happening. For sure.
It is. It's
That's why
history.
she's mad.
History
Mhm.
repeating itself. Clark shoots back, telling her to not take it out on him, and they start fighting again, and Lois resumes her obsessive-compulsive toothbrush grout scrubbing session. They have it out with words.
You are my partner, and what you do reflects on me, and I don't want the whole world to know that my partner is a doormat for women.
That is not true, Lois, and you know it.
You want the truth? The truth is that you're a doormat with no taste.
That's fine, that's it. I'm out of here. Forget it.
Fine, perfect. Go. She's probably waiting for you.
And you know, I would love to hear her side of this whole story. And I can tell her a few things about how impossible you are to work with.
Really? Then why don't you work with her too?
Maybe I just will.
You two deserve each other.
Clark storms out, and he smirks after she slams the door shut behind him.
She even called him a doormat.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
Well, she's jealous.
Ouch.
It's not just the jealousy really though, because and here's the thing. She tells Clark straight away that this woman hurt her in the past and she wants nothing to do with her. Clark makes jokes about it, acts like Lois is blowing it way out of proportion, and then is super friendly to Linda.
Yeah.
And that's not very.
That's the wrong move.
Yeah.
My only excuse for Clark here is that maybe he is just such a friendly guy that throughout his whole life, he's never really had like a social enemy. Enemies like Luther, that's over there, but like go back to hometown. Everyone's always happy to see him. Great old Clark. He has no grudges with anybody from back then. Maybe he just simply can't
Yeah.
imagine that
Hmm.
this could be a serious thing that someone could from your past or when you were younger could have done something that has hurt you this badly. And so it's insensitive in the way that he doesn't value Lois's feelings here and that he kind of pushes her into like, haha, well, you know. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, I just wondered what you guys thought about that because
No,
is
you
he
make a
being a
good point.
jerk or is he just clueless or
I think
does he
it's a
like the
combination of
attention?
both,
Because he doesn't always get women's attention.
which I don't buy for a second.
Oh, come on. Yeah, I know, but
But yeah, no, I think you make a good point. I feel like it's a combination of he's just Mr. I see the good in everyone. And he probably just thinks that maybe Lois is a little dramatic sometimes, I'm guessing, but also as her being her best friend, you would think that he would draw the line a little better in the sand.
Yeah.
yeah.
And as Lois even said, he's very naive. So
Hmm.
it's something he's never really had to deal with. He's not being very empathetic to her at all, knowing
Hmm.
that she really hates this person. And
Hmm.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
interestingly, in a couple of episodes, it's going to get switched around, where he's trying to convince her of somebody not being good, and she absolutely does not listen. Um, so he's going to
yeah.
get his own medicine thrown back at him, but
You're talking about Lex.
mhm. Yeah,
Hmm.
when he's trying to say like he's behind the fall of the planet. He's done this,
Yeah.
and Lois is just like, no, he's a great guy. And like,
Yeah.
but
That's true.
maybe I'm not saying one event can change everything, but maybe if Clark had taken her seriously in instances like this and said, okay, you say this woman sucks, I believe you, she sucks, and I will have nothing to do with her, maybe
Yeah.
that could have strengthened something that would have allowed her to listen to him with Lex. But probably not. And then again, we wouldn't have that whole story and we love it. So, well,
Right.
parts of it.
Yeah, parts of it.
Anyway, Clark's meh, not being a very good friend. That's my point. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
But a little bit of that at the end, though, was because he was trying to egg her on because he
Yeah.
wanted to make her
Why?
mad. But
Yeah. He
I think it's a
smirked.
little bit of both. I think he would have still, maybe not to the max like he went, but he still
Hmm.
wasn't being a good friend.
Totally. So Clark is sitting at a desk talking about how Lois's obsession with Linda is impacting her performance and how the Daily Planet is dying. We come to realize that Clark is interviewing with the Metropolis Star and he's hired. Back at the planet, Lois storms into Perry's office and tells him that Clark jumped ship and went to the opposing paper. Perry is calm about the whole thing and admits that he already knows and that Clark offered to give him 2 weeks. But Perry didn't see the point. Lois can't understand it, and she talks about loyalty and going down with the ship. Obviously, that's Perry's position. Lois squeaks out.
How can you be so calm?
The way she says it is hilarious. Perry just tells her to basically chill the F out in not so many words and tells her to keep working on what she's supposed to be doing. On Lois's way out, Perry says it's going to be all right. Lois just shrugs and says, "That's what Clark told me."
Aw.
Now, this is the second time Clark has just left his job or in quotes, left his job very suddenly. I mean,
Uh-huh.
it's not cool to poor Lois to have her partner just be like, bye at the drop of a hat
Yeah,
within
Peace out.
two months or something.
exactly. At the press conference, Clark arrives with Linda. They've obviously teamed up. And Carpenter calls to confirm that Linda's there. Clark notes that Carpenter keeps pretty tight tabs on her. Linda admits that Carpenter, has been hitting on her and then adds, "Don't worry, I only have eyes for you."
They've known
Bleh.
each other 2 days.
Yeah. Bleh. No.
Blech. Lois walks in alone and shoots Clark a glare. When Clark stands to ask a question, Lois cuts him off and fires off one of her own. Linda rises then to defend Clark, and suddenly the two women are locked in a petty little battle of words. And the man at the podium finally snaps and shuts them both down, announcing that there will be no further questions. But as they begin
Good
opening
job.
the exactly.
Like, good
Thank
job,
you.
everybody. Make everybody mad there. Jeez.
Thank you for taking care of this. My goodness. But also now no one else can ask a question. So, whoops.
Mm-hmm.
As they begin to open the jewels, Clark hears people arming up behind some closed doors. He uses his super breath to topple a potted tree and block the entrance, then calmly tells the guards that they might want to call the police.
I just hope that guard doesn't remember who said that to him, so he can, like, yeah, this guy knew about the armed. He told me.
How did he know?
Right. How do you know that they're armed people? There's three specifically. There's 3 armed people behind. How
Yeah.
do you know?
Yeah,
Hmm.
he's in on it.
I know, that's what it sounds like.
Must be. All right. So back at Clark's apartment, Lois shows up all angry. She immediately sees multiple mugs on his table and jumps to the conclusion that Linda must be there. She storms in completely off her rocker, looking around the apartment, jumping up to look in his loft, jumping on his bed, and then bending over to look under it. What the heck, Lois? Did y'all see Clark's reaction to her bending over?
Uh-huh. Yes, I've noticed that for
He was like,
years.
whoa.
I know.
Nice behind, Lois.
Nice
Like-
view.
But
Clark.
she's lost her mind. She then goes to look in his closet. Thankfully, not the one that has his suits in it. She goes over yelling, come out, wherever you are." She opens the closet and finds not Linda, but Perry, who's just eating a vanilla wafer. They all exchange
good.
looks, looking at each other like, now what? And I like Lois's quote of, this is either not what I thought, or
I'm
And they're all
I am now satisfied that we have a callback to that scene in the pilot with the coming out of the
Mhm.
closet joke. I feel like things are
Mhm.
now come for full circle.
Yep.
It all makes sense now. I'm satisfied.
And now Perry's coming out of the closet.
Indeed.
Now it's Perry's turn, yeah. Casually with a vanilla wafer in his hand.
Mid crunch.
Mid crunch. I know. The way he's holding it when the door is open and he just looks so dumbfounded that it is hysterical. It's
I
so
know.
funny. I swear, there are little pieces of comedy gold in here.
It reminds me of him freezing during the hunka hunka scene where he's about to get punched.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like,
Frozen
oh.
Perry's got to be a meme.
Oh, funny.
But it's super awkward as they're all looking at each other. So Perry decides to come clean on everything, telling her that Clark is working undercover at the Star and that they believe the Star is staging the accidents to outscoop them. But they don't think that Linda even knows. Lois is irritated that they didn't even tell her because they could have just said, hey, this is what we're doing. But it was all Perry. Perry didn't want to tell her because she was too close and there were issues with Linda.
So you mean that I have been having all these feelings for nothing?
What feelings?
Forget it. I'm not feeling them anymore.
I love his face,
good.
though. He's like, oh, you had feelings? Maybe
Do
she likes
tell.
me. Maybe she missed me.
Mm-hmm.
I thought
I
that was
love
cute.
that
I love
scene.
this scene. This is a great
It's
scene.
so
But now that she knows, Perry wants them to work together on it and wants to see if she's okay with it, which of course she's like, yeah, it's fine. Clark is the issue. Clark has problems like anytime Linda's around. Oh, Linda. And then they start arguing like, no, the problem is you. And Perry's like, oh, I'm out of here. I'm getting my butt out of this problem. I'm out. See ya. So he leaves the apartment and lets them hash it out. But I like Lois's comment of, you would fly her to the moon if you could. He could.
And a call forward.
uh-huh. Yeah.
He could, but he doesn't want to. All right, so Lois, Clark, and Linda go out to, is it dinner or lunch? I don't know. They're at a restaurant. And they explain to her what they believe is happening. He brings up the fact that the elevator cable was cut and the fact that she just happened to be at every single scene. Linda believes them and is feeling, well, she can't figure out exactly the words that she's feeling. So Lois butts in with abused, duped, used. And Linda says, "What are you, a thesaurus?" I just love their banter. It's the best part. They all agree that it's obviously now a planet story and no longer the stars, but they're going to need Linda's help to get the proof from Preston's office. So they're going to need her to distract him so they can go in. So back at Preston's office, Linda shows up wanting to take him out to lunch to celebrate that the Star will soon be the most wildly read paper in the country, and it's all due to him, and he's amazing. She sits down, crosses her legs, and touches her legs seductively, trying to convince them. I don't know how else to say this.
Touches her leg seductively.
Seductively touches her leg, trying to convince him to take her out to lunch. But Preston is a little confused because she just shot down his advances at their last restaurant sit down. So she ends up convincing him, and they walk out down the hallway. Lois and Clark sneak in, and Lois gets to searching on his computer. All of a sudden, they hear somebody at the door, and Clark tells her to hide under the desk. She's like, well, where are you going to go? Where does he end up going? The ceiling. You could clearly see he's up there. It's not a very high ceiling.
I was thinking too, like as you're under the desk, you're probably would be looking around at feet to see where he's gonna go. She wouldn't notice that his feet just like lift off the air and go up there.
She was looking the other direction. Yeah, you can see under.
Okay.
She put her head way down there, and she didn't.
I don't know. I'm just watching everything. Maybe it's just me.
So Stark is the one who comes in. He grabs a briefcase off of the desk and then leaves. So they do not get caught. Phew, yay. Lois comes crawling out from under the desk, and Clark floats back down before she sees him. She wants to know where the heck he was hiding because there really wasn't anywhere else to hide. And he points to an office plant that's basically a stick with a couple leaves. Her face. I love it. She's like, what? How? Nobody could hide behind that. It's a stick.
So funny.
I love it because he just pulls her aside, like, let's just go over here. Let's not talk about that.
Shuffle her away, like, oh, it's fine. Let's go this way.
So they go back, they sit down. She finds his subdirectory, but it's password protected. Clark says that Linda had told him that Preston had a Citizen Kane fixation and to try the word Kane, Kane. Nope, not it. Then they both say Rosebud. Great minds think alike. Yep, that was the right one.
The funny thing is about the Rosebud being his computer password, and a few episodes ago, Superman was Lois's password, and Et tu Brute was another password. And from a 2025 perspective, we look at that and go, well, nobody would have just such a short, basic password.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how it was back then.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
if you had a password at all, it was just a random word that meant something to you. So
yeah. Your dog's name. I mean, what?
Yeah, now it's got to have an upper, a lower, a special character. It'll be at least 11 characters.
And it has to be different from the other ones because then it flags it as already used.
They find the editorial for the fire and the elevator. And then they see a future editorial about the assassination of Secretary Wallace, which has not happened yet. So I think they have their proof that something shady's going on. So Clark comments that they need to get going because if Preston is willing to kill Secretary Wallace, he's definitely willing to kill Linda if he finds out that she knew about everything and this was all a cover-up and whatever. So they go. But Lois sits there for a second, like, Linda could die?
Wouldn't have to
And
do it
smirks. And smirks, and he's like, come on. Okay.
That's
Jeez,
one way to
Lois.
get rid of your enemies.
Totally okay with her dying.
Let them
Bad.
be.
In the script, like you were saying, Jen, this guy is creepy. Preston is creepy. In the script, before she finds the editorials, she finds his personal diary and says that he's a sick man because it's all X-rated.
Ew. Ew.
I thought you'd like
Ew.
that.
They didn't need
He's
to go.
definitely a
I'm
sick
glad they
man.
didn't go there. Yeah.
They didn't go
We
there.
didn't need
No.
any more. No, I already got the vibes. We don't need any more.
Okay, so during this time, Linda is out to lunch with this guy, and he's talking about how, well, she asks him if, what's the next step for you? Are you going to run for president? Though I think she was kind of kidding, but he's like, well, only as an interim step. My next goal is to convince the governments of the world that we need an international federation, a United Nations with real teeth, a government to govern all governments, which of course he would head the whole thing. That's a pretty big goal.
Yeah. No
Just
kidding.
because you're running papers, you can do that too.
I know.
So Stark comes over and whispers in Preston's ear about something. Preston gets up and says he'll be back. Linda wants to follow, but he's like, no, 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 just get some dessert. I'll be back. That's not what she's going to do. She gets up and follows him outside. And just then, Clark and Lois show up in a cab. Coincidence? They tell her that Preston is going to kill Secretary Wallace. Clark goes off to warn him. And of course, Lois and Linda decide to follow. They follow the guys into the hotel kitchen. Lois says that one of them needs to call the police and one needs to stay on the story. But of course, neither want to leave. Linda's like, heck no, and crawls into the kitchen. And Lois is like, well, dang it, now I have to go too. So she just crawls in right after her.
I also love
Um,
this
we-
scene coming up.
We see Preston talking with his Goonies about the plans. And then he decides that he needs to call Linda to tell her that he's being detained a little bit longer. So just behind them, of course, Lois and Linda hear this and they're like, oh crap, where's your phone? Turn it off. But they don't get to it fast enough and it rings.
It's so funny when they both look up. They're both like trying to fiddle with the phone to turn it off, and they both look up.
So they end up getting tied up together and put in a freezer. Carpenter thinks it's a fantastic headline. Yay. What would that headline be? Like, who is the one that actually tied him up if this was a story?
He would make something up. I'm sure, like, he would.
So they are in the freezer. Stark shoots the pipe and a bunch of Freon gets shooting out. And he's like, well, breathe deep, girls, because, it's better than freezing to death. I like Lois's quote of, life is cruel. Like, what? So Linda and Lois have a nice little talk / argument about how they were best friends and how, they're hashing out the whole situation that happened to them when they were in school and how she stole her boyfriend, even though they weren't dating. Lois says they were dating. Who knows? Were they not? I don't think they were.
Yeah.
So really, the only really bad thing she did, I feel, is that she stole her story. But whatever. Linda says that, she should be forgiven because she just didn't have any willpower back then and that they were best friends and you should forgive your best friend. Lois and her are still struggling, getting frustrated. They fall over and Lois is like, fine, and forgives her. Okay. I guess because she's dying, she's like, all right, I'll forgive you.
Yeah.
This is our third instance of Lois being, detained with someone and having a heart-to-heart with them. And
Yeah,
the show likes to do that. We just saw
It's
it
very
in
much-
Metropolis.
and it's very much the pilot scene too, when they're tied together and she spills her guts about something from the past and I'm sorry.
This is one of, I want to say, 4 to 5 people that'll come that'll show up in the show that Lois either went to college with or knew in college. I mean, not
Yeah.
including Louis' tennis doubles daughter, which she only ever gets
Hmm.
mentioned, but this Linda King, the first of several actual college people that have shown up and never to appear again. To never come back.
Exactly. That's a good thing on some of these people.
Hmm.
So Clark super hears Linda and Lois coughing and breaks the door down, closes the pipe, inhales the freon, and unties them. Where the heck has he been? Is my question.
Yeah, he went to warn the
Hmm.
secretary, but he's been running up and down the stairs and around the building for the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Right, he went to go warn the secretary, but I don't even think he did that based on
Nope,
what happens next. So
nope.
where has he been?
Yeah. Signing up for some cheese of the month, maybe. I don't know. He's gonna need that
True.
later.
So we cut to outside, and Stark is now up on the roof with his rifle, about to shoot the secretary as he leaves. Superman catches the bullets that now the gardener and the valet guy is also shooting at him. Okay. And
Yeah,
then
they
he
were all in
wants
on it.
them. Yeah, they were all in on it. So now he's got all these bullets. He smashes them into this big, like, steaming hot ball and then shoots them into the trash. Way to call back
Okay.
the beginning of this episode.
Uh-huh.
Okay, there,
Yeah,
that's a,
yeah,
yeah, all right, sure.
yeah.
Oh, can I mention though, when Superman rescues them from the freezer, he pulls that entire door thing off and like flings it to the side. Those doors typically aren't locked from the outside. Why must he constantly
Mhm.
bust into rooms?
That
Why
is
can't he
true.
just open the door?
He could have just opened the door.
Uh-huh.
Nope.
Hmm.
Nope. I'm adding it to
Gotta
the
look
list
good
of
on TV though, man.
It's like how he smashed through the ceiling
hmm
instead of just going down the
Like
stairs.
or the
it's
slide,
like
yeah.
I am powerful. Let me just
Yeah.
display this real quick for my primetime viewers.
It looks cooler. That's why.
Now their restaurant's food is gonna be, go
Yeah.
bad and make people sick. And
Yep. We want follow up on this, how this restaurant dealt with this situation, please.
yeah, but I did write that down. Like, where has Clark been? And why didn't he know Lois was in trouble 10 minutes ago? And on and on and on.
Hmm.
Who knows? So, now that Superman has stopped the assassination attempt, Stark jumps in the car with Preston and tries to drive away, but the car doesn't move. Superman grabs the bumper again. How many times has he done this already? A couple times.
Hmm.
He's
At
lifted the
least.
back of the bumper. I don't think he's stopped a car this way.
Green, green glow. Did he do it in that one?
Mm.
Let's find out.
I
Molly's on
remember
the
commenting.
case.
I remember commenting on one that's not that one because I was like, well,
Uh,
way to hurt the tires, but I don't remember which one that was. Hmm.
oh, the tires.
But now I'm blanking on what episode that was.
Yeah.
The trash. It was the trash, the
The,
stupid trash recycle
that's
one. That's the
Oh,
one.
yeah. It's not just garbage anymore.
okay. We have the bad guy driving. We have Superman standing there. Oh, he grabs the front of the car
Ah,
and doesn't let the man get back up. And then the man gets out. Okay. Okay, I guess that counts
there you
then.
go.
All right.
We'll count it.
Yeah.
So now we have the end scene where Lois, Clark, and Jimmy are just standing in the lobby of the Daily Planet. Lois grabs the newest paper off the counter, irritated that Linda's name is also part of the byline. Well, Lois, she did help, so I feel like she probably should be part of the
Yeah. Why not? It's not like she
byline.
stole Clark.
Just then we see Linda and Perry on the elevator. I'm not sure if you guys noticed this, but I thought it was funny. Linda gets off the elevator while Perry stays on, presumably, I'm guessing, to go back up to the newsroom. As Linda is walking up to Lois and Clark, in the background, if you watch, you'll see Jimmy telling Perry to wait, that he's coming with him. Perry smiles and quickly hits the close button on the elevator. And Jimmy's like, "What? Hello?"
But
I thought it was a little funny background thing that if you're not watching, you might miss it. But I thought it was
I
funny
totally missed it. I need to watch
because
that
he's like,
again
"What?"
now.
Because
And then
clearly,
hold the elevator will be a thing.
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, the elevator.
Perry was like, "Nope." But
Need me a break from this kid.
Linda tells them that she's taking a job on the coast and then jokes about wanting Clark to come with her. Lois gives her a death stare. Like, I'm kidding, I'm kidding. Linda said that Lois's apology meant a lot to her, but Lois blew it off, saying that she only accepted it because she thought she was dying and just wanted a clean slate. But of course, Linda has to butt in there and say, well, maybe she's a good reporter because of the competition between them. And Lois is like, what? So now I'm supposed to thank you on that too? Like, what? Clark quickly changes the subject and asks her, like, well, what paper is she going to go work for? And she's like, well, I'm not going to go work at a paper now. She had just optioned the film rights to the inside story for the fall of Preston Carpenter. I wonder how much she's actually making for that. To not work?
Is she writing the screenplay, is what I was thinking in this last one.
Maybe. We never hear about this movie, so I'm thinking it never got
Yeah.
made. But
Yeah.
apparently a big name is going to play Linda, but
I did have it put in my contract that I get to play one of the small parts.
What part is that?
I'll try and do you justice.
Lois. Dun, dun, dun. Lois's
Final
face
jab.
is great. Like, what? And then she's like, hee hee, kisses Clark on the cheek and leaves. Lois is like not okay with this whatsoever, and Clark is just laughing. I don't think they've made up.
Oh no. Well, do you guys have any other things you'd like to talk about with this episode? Any other thoughts?
There was a weird thing in the script that I still don't really understand. They had Preston Carpenter using a white ivory walking stick. And I was like, that's weird. Like, there wasn't really an explanation for it, just that there was this white walking stick. And then, yeah, I don't.
Like
I thought I'd mention
ivory
it just because,
from a
like,
tusk
carved.
of a
Yeah.
That's like
And I
more
was
Colonel
like-
Sanders or something.
yeah, that's true. But
I just thought
ivory,
it was a weird, yeah.
if you hunt ivory, you're kind of a not nice person.
Yeah, and that's what Stark was coming back into the office to get. He was coming back to get the walking stick that he had forgot, but instead they made it a briefcase,
Yeah.
which is better in my opinion. I think the
Yeah.
walking stick would have been weird. Would
Yeah.
have been weird, and I don't know.
Well, yeah, so one thing I was thinking as I was watching this is that Preston Carpenter is this one and done villain, and he never gets even mentioned ever again. But the essence of his villainy is in some ways scarier than the prankster, than Metallo or the Toyman like could ever be because of his reach and his influence and his power and wanting to manipulate people
More power.
across the country for his own gain. And that's scary. I will say Tempest in season 4 does something similar.
Yeah.
Far off spoiler alert. No.
Will we get there?
We shall see.
I know.
Do you guys think Clark was trying to make Lois a little jealous? Yeah.
Yeah, I
On
do.
purpose.
I think he was for sure.
Yeah,
I agree.
I
I agree.
I agree. I think he saw a glimmer of hope and he was using it a little bit to his advantage, I think.
A little too much.
Yeah. I mean, even though Lex isn't in this one, in the story, in the arc of this whole first season story, Lois and Lex are starting to date.
Hmm.
And, Clark could be reacting to that, but we don't get that in this episode. We just have to have that knowledge. When planning this podcast, we all had some special features we each wanted to talk about. First, we'll start today with Jen. Were there any fuzzy, furry, or feathered friends in this episode?
I don't think so. I did not see any. Correct?
Hmm. Yeah.
Wait.
What?
No?
No.
Yeah, okay, no. I'm like, wait a second. Did you guys see one? No, because I did not.
Hmm.
We
I
talked
did
about
not.
dogs in the beginning, but that doesn't count.
There were
So,
quite a few
nope.
dog references. They just didn't show one.
Yeah, it's okay.
I didn't look for fish, but I don't think they were shown.
Because we didn't
Okay.
even go to her apartment, did we?
Yeah. No,
Once.
huh?
Yeah.
We
Did
did?
we?
Yeah. The grout. The
Oh,
grout
the
scene.
Oh, the
grout.
grout. Yes, of
Yeah.
course.
Durhay.
I didn't
But
notice.
but that's in the kitchen, and I think
Yeah.
I think the angle I don't think showed the fish
Yeah.
tank.
Okay. Well, now I'm super
It
nervous
was
every time because I'm like, oh, I missed the fish. Now, trying to keep
Just
up
know
with the
that we're
story,
all
but then,
watching too. We're all watching for it too
yeah.
now.
Okay,
they
good.
they didn't show the fish tank because it was out getting cleaned.
Oh,
Ooh.
I hope so. I hope so.
Our acronym of the week this week is TDOLL. Stands for Tireless Defenders of Lois Lane. There's really no reason to defend Lois in this episode, though. She's incredible. Okay, so she becomes a little unhinged over Linda seemingly stealing away Clark, but it's fine. She's human after all. She's also strong, funny, clever, daring, and adorable. No wonder Clark's smitten. Lois forever.
Yay.
Julie, were there any goofs or bloopers in this episode?
Not at all. There were several. All
Spit.
right.
I am
So
waiting. I am waiting.
you're waiting. Okay. We mentioned that newspaper is 2 words on the chalkboard instead of 1 word.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This one, which is very strange. I don't understand if there's like a I don't even know. I can't even. Okay. So for the scene where Perry is in the closet, if you're watching this scene and the door comes open and they're talking with Perry and he's still in the closet, you will see the top shelf of his closet is a couple pairs of jeans, what looks to be like a black pair of pants, and then next to that is a canvas duffel bag. Okay, well, mid-sentence, as they're talking, the canvas bag turns into tennis shoes.
Oh,
When Perry, and then when Perry walks out of the closet, everything turns into books in the
books.
closet.
Okay, I did notice that. I did notice the books. Did I text you that? Oh,
Yes.
shoot. Did I text that? Okay, I did notice that.
You said you
Magical.
noticed books. So
Okay.
not just once, not just like, okay, the canvas tote didn't get put back up there and somebody put shoes in its place. Okay, it was a reshot scene or whatever. But then it changes to books completely in the closet. I'm like, okay, it changed again.
I'm
What?
wondering if it was books at first and they shot quite a bit of it and then the books like fell down and were a total like because just knowing my bookshelves, things are always falling
Mhm.
down. So,
Yeah.
hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I thought it was weird because obviously when you reshoot something or you add in like maybe they needed a line that wasn't said or something and they went back and shot, okay, they didn't put, the bag back up on the thing and they, messed up, but I'm like they did it twice.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
That's interesting. That's good. Good catch.
Yeah, that's way
And
worse
that
than the self-sealing banana. And
yeah, that's very, very weird. Somebody's in trouble for that one for sure. The next one that I noticed, which is a pretty big goof as well, is, when Jimmy is sitting in the Daily Planet and Lois is talking right before she leaves for the Fudge Castle. Jimmy is reading the Metropolis Star and shows Clark's picture in it. If you look at the cover of the Star, it is the Miracle Save with the elevator picture on it. That scene hadn't even
Oh.
happened yet. The elevator scene hadn't happened, and he's already reading the paper.
Oh, wow.
You
So,
know,
Talk about
oops.
premonition. They're publishing it before it even happens.
There's a little time warp there.
well, it's just like how he found out that the woman had three children. There's these little pockets of time where we don't see it, but they get to have full conversations that learn things.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's a bit weird.
Yeah, that was an oops for sure. And then one more that I will note is that the end scene when Lois picks up the newspaper and complains that it said, by Clark Kent, Lois Lane, with a special contribution by Linda King. That's not what it says if you look at the paper. The
Hmm.
paper actually says it's by Linda King, Clark Kent, and Lois Lane. I would think that would make her even more mad that she has
yeah.
a full byline
Top
and it's
top
before
billing.
her name and Lois is last.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Wow.
that's about it really. Couple good ones. But yeah, why did she get top billing? Jeez.
Yeah, that's odd.
Lois got last.
Yeah.
Rude.
That would have been
Okay.
Linda's doing.
I want to just open Clark's closet, shut it, open it, shut it, and have
Yeah,
it keep
and then
changing.
see what happens every time you do it. That's so funny.
Jen, what is your choice for the wackiest excuse Clark makes in this episode?
Well, there are two that I enjoyed. What I guess I enjoyed one more than the other. One of them was Lois and Clark go into the elevator, and Clark's excuse is, "Oh, I forgot something." Like he couldn't even get it out. But the what my favorite is after Lois and Clark are hiding, Lois goes, "Where'd you hide?" And Clark looks around and he goes, here." And he points to the skinny stick in the pot and then shuffles her
That's
out. So good. It's just that's the one.
that's the best one. Yeah, I
Hmm.
hid behind this stick.
This
Do you
guy
have
with broad shoulders
invisibility
and yeah,
powers?
I know, right?
In the
Yeah,
script,
good
he was
choice.
supposed to say that he forgot his beeper for that other scene,
Oh,
but
instead
instead he
of
was just like, I
Oh,
forgot
forgot
something.
something.
oh, okay. Interesting. Beeper. Hmm.
Yeah,
Eh,
we haven't seen the beepers in a minute.
Yeah.
We were talking a lot about that at the beginning of the season, and they seem to have not used them very much the rest of this season.
comes up pretty big in Mason when we
Yeah.
get to
Oh
Mason.
gosh. Mason.
Aww. R.I.P.
R.I.P. Spoiler alert.
So I'm here to talk about some of the real life things in this episode. First of all, we have a mention of Don King, born in 1931. I guess he was a boxing promoter. He, as of this recording, is still alive, which
Oh,
in his
Wow.
90s.
I guess I didn't realize that. I thought he was dead.
Oh, yeah.
I shouldn't laugh. That's not funny.
Don King,
Wow.
still alive in lulz.
Oh.
This episode references Citizen Kane, the 1941 movie starring Orson Welles. We're told outright that Preston Carpenter has a Citizen Kane fixation, and Carpenter also brings up the main character, Charles Foster Kane, and says, he's his idol, and they do seem to have similar ideals. And I put down a few similarities or some references between this episode and the movie, and they are that, well, both Kane and Carpenter are newspaper publishers who sometimes write for their papers, and both are focused on getting people to think what they're told. Both consider running for a high office in a bid for even more power or prestige. Both end up poaching staff from a rival newspaper, although, ours was kind of just not really, but Um, Preston Carpenter's computer password was Rosebud, which is the thing that the reporter is searching for throughout Citizen Kane. And when Linda says, even a busy newspaperman has to eat, her line mirrors one of Kane's first wife, even a busy newspaperman has to sleep. So Linda's probably seen the movie and is like, I know what'll get this man. I'll quote his favorite film. This is me maybe perhaps reaching, you know, but because I want to believe that this was intentional because there's a couple scenes in this episode that seem like maybe they were paying homage to Citizen Kane. So one of them is like the really long takes that you may notice throughout this episode, like the one of Lois and Linda talking in the freezer. That scene, they do a no cuts for almost a minute. And another thing is that Citizen Kane is kind of one of the things that it was famous for was kind of being avant-garde with certain filming angles and things back in the day. And so one of the things that movie does was you see a lot of shots of the ceilings, which in old Hollywood movies, it was usually like that's where you would have the lights. You would never show the ceiling, but they did.
Mm.
And then on our show, you see the ceiling several times in this episode, of course, most notably when Clark's flying up there. But
Uh-huh.
so and maybe I'm reaching,
Yeah.
or maybe these were
Yeah.
intentional,
That's kind of cool.
you know. And then this is also just on that same note, this is a kind of an art imitating life situation because Charles Foster Kane, the character in that movie, himself was based on the real life William Randolph Hearst. I won't go into him, you can look him up. Okay, still going though. Sonata Pathétique, aka Beethoven's Sonata number 8 from 1798. The song playing in the restaurant, also from Lucky Leon. We got a mention of Benedict Arnold, famous for being a major general during the American Revolution who defected, changed sides, forever cementing his place in American history as a traitor. And of course, Bo Knows from the Nike ad campaign that aired in 1989 and 1990. And those are my real life references. It is now that time of the episode where we grade the episode. So, on a scale from A plus to F minus, here come the grades. I really enjoyed this episode. I always have. It is so funny. And aside from a few goofs and rough saves by Superman, I think it's a great episode. The only, thing is like it's mostly focused on Lois and Clark. Not a lot happens with Jimmy, Perry, Kat's not there, Lex isn't there, no Martha and Jonathan. So is it a fully rounded episode? No, but hey. Anyway, I give this one an A minus.
Wow.
Nice. Well, I really enjoyed this one. There were some genuinely funny moments, like scattered throughout. My favorites were when Linda's phone goes off and she and Lois get caught. But I mean, there was a whole bunch of them in there. The jealousy throughout was perfection. Uh, the whole storyline kind of had a fun vibe and the pacing worked really well. I just wasn't impressed by the Carpenter guy. His acting was bad and his like as a person, I just didn't care for him. Like I just thought he was evil incarnate. Maybe he was trying to lean into more of a comic book style character, but for me, it never quite clicked. Overall, though, it moves the Lois and Clark storyline, like the relationship along, and so I liked it for that. So I gave it a B.
Yay. So for me, this episode, I'm not sure why, but this is always an episode that in my head, I always think that I'm not going to like. I don't know why, because I really enjoyed this one for some reason. I always think this is not one of my favorites. This is not one that I ever pick when I go, I'm going to rewatch an episode. But watching it this time, the physical comedic acting of Terry Hatcher is amazing. When they let her lean into that part, it is great. That is the what she does best and what I like the best is her physical comedy. It is hilarious. The witty back and forth between her and Linda and even her and Clark and the fighting and the toothbrush scene and all of that. I love it. especially when she gets his jacket all messy when she's like tossing the toothbrush all around. It's great. And that's what she does best. And her jumping on the bed and just the ridiculous, over the top craziness. So for that, I give the episode a B. Yay.
I'm so glad you brought up the Terry comedy thing. That was something I meant to say, and I would have been shame if we hadn't gotten that in there, so thank you.
Exactly. It's the best.
She's so good. Today we have a special report on one of the early Lois and Clark fan websites. Back in the mid-1990s, many folks were able to create their own fan sites devoted to Lois and Clark. Many went through like sites like Angel Fire or GeoCities, and each one was a little different. Sometimes they would have screen captures or promotional pictures or sound bites. And we wanted to focus on some of our favorite, more unique sites from back in the day. Today, we are talking about the ultimate definitive guide to Clark Kent's ties.
Yay.
Yay! They're so good. Or bad.
This little website was a project created by a folk whose username was Manali, and it was located at www.chantico.com/alistor/ck-ties. The site isn't around anymore, but you can type that URL into the Wayback Machine and see it in all its former glory. Manali chronicled and drew all of Clark's neckties from the pilot all the way through Just Say Noah, season 3, episode 5. Then they continued to keep track of the ties into season 4, though the drawings did not continue. The site was very popular among folks at the time because it was a very just creative thing. It was very different from other websites out there. Plus, what a great topic, right? I mean, Art Clark had so many different ones. Here are some stats from that website. By the end of Just Say Noah, Clark had worn at least 79 different ties.
Wow.
Of these, 54 of them appeared for the first time during season 1, and 15 of those appeared for the first time during season 2. 28 of them were worn only once during the first 2 seasons, and the author said something to the effect of Lois obviously didn't like them, so that's why he only wore them once. They had a Lost in the Sock Drawer award going to the tie that Clark first wore in Strange Visitor and then never wore until, and the answer is, nearly 2 seasons later. The average number of ties worn by Clark in any episode, what do you guys think is his average per episode?
4. 4?
I'm going to say 3.
3.75 is the average.
Hey!
Wow.
The most
Wow.
number of ties worn by Clark in an episode. Would you like to guess that one?
7?
Yeah.
Yes,
I was going to say
indeed.
8,
Hey!
but okay.
In the
Wow,
pilot,
okay.
he wore 7 ties.
Wow.
But
Wow,
the
that's
least
crazy.
number of ties worn by Clark in an episode is going to be the New Krypton arc, where he wears no ties, actually.
0.
In some of those. He also doesn't seem to wear one in Soulmates, except for the Telegraph clerk guy kind of wears, he wears it as that, but not a real necktie. And fun fact, Lois is going to wear one of Clark's ties in Season's Greetings. Apparently she steals his tie.
Yeah. She wears
In
2 in that
season-
episode.
Oh yeah, well one of them's Clark's.
Yeah.
As she wears it as Lois?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Like
she got
as
into his
her-
closet and was
just-
like, I'll take this.
I'm going to borrow this. Oh, interesting. Hmm.
So we will put links to that website in our show notes, and we also have each picked our favorite tie from that gallery. Julie, would you like to tell us which of Clark Kent's ties is your favorite?
I can tell you which one I hated.
Oh, tell us
Yeah,
which one
I
you,
have-
yeah.
Number 45. I hate that tie.
Oh, yeah,
I
that was
hate it.
bad. However,
makes
look
me
at
think-
all the good episodes it was in.
It was in a lot of episodes, and I absolutely hate
Yeah.
it. It's distracting every time it comes up. It looks like either the Loch Ness Monster or a dinosaur, but it is
Hmm.
not.
Yeah, it's
It's
Yeah.
got a
just
like
like
a
little,
pale yellow background and then burgundy centipedes crawling all over it.
I don't like
Giantipedes.
it.
But he wears
It's
it five
supposed to be
times.
like, yeah, I don't hate it. I don't like it.
Hmm.
Do you think it looks like a dinosaur? I think it looks like dinosaurs or a Loch Ness Monster.
I can
I
kind
could
of
see
see it.
centipede.
Yeah. I saw
It's weird.
lizards personally, but I don't know.
Yeah, I
I
don't
would
like
just like
it.
to point out though, look at number 48.
48's
There's
weird.
no, but there's
Hmm.
something about it. The white Clark shirt, the red, yellow, and blue, his suit
Yeah.
peeking out. Just saying, it's hinting at
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
It's hitting at something. It looks like pasta noodles. I don't know.
So which
Like
ones, tell us about your
lasagna.
favorite tie, Julie.
The two that I like the best, it's the animal print looking mixed animal print one from All Shook Up. That one I like. I don't know why I like it, but I like it. Go up. That one.
Oh.
Okay, that's number 34.
Oh.
A lot of people liked that one, apparently.
Apparently a lot of people, it's huge on the
Wow.
screen. But it's got this weird mixture of animal prints and it looks like it's got like a manatee on it or something. I don't
Okay,
know.
come
But
on there.
it's in 8 episodes. Dang, okay. Maybe it was Found Land that
Any,
I saw it in. I was thinking it was All Shook Up,
yeah.
but yeah, I like that one, the animal print one. And then I also like the one he wears with the maroon jacket. It's got like those infinity bands, you know. They use that for promos and stuff.
I chose based on because a lot of his ties are just awful. There were some that I think were cute. In fact, I was looking for any of the ties that were in Tempest Fugitive. I was looking, but I didn't see it. So I narrowed it down to tie number 35. Now, hear me out before you look at it. Right there.
Oh, oh no.
It's awful, right? Okay, but it's neutral. But look at all the good episodes in because like Honeymoon in Metropolis, Season's Greetings, Top Copy, maybe not She of Steel, Batman, The Prankster's good. I don't know. I just thought like okay, hideous to look at, right? But
Uh-uh.
You're
it
hurting my
has
feelings here. This was my
really
favorite tie.
what?
This
That
is my
one's
favorite
yours?
one. Yes.
35 for you
Uh-uh.
too? Okay.
Yes.
Well,
Okay,
I
maybe
like
it looks better on screen. It's weird.
yeah,
It's
no,
definitely weird.
yeah.
Okay,
I I am not a
now I gotta go
fan
to the episode.
of any of his ties necessarily. The ones that I like are boring, that are like pretty much like one color and maybe like vague pattern, right? Like I don't like
Mhm.
44 Ides of Metropolis. I would pick that one out and just be like, here, wear this.
That one's
Very,
boring. That's
very
boring.
plain, yeah.
Exactly. I go for boring. Have you seen my house? My house is gray and white. Um,
Yes.
okay, but I think
What is
my
happening here?
That one looks like boobs. That looks like
oh,
boobs.
the prankster 58, yeah. Yeah, that one's not
It
good.
does.
My
That one's bad.
my top favorite is tie number 69. And I'm gonna have you guess why I think tie number 69 is my favorite.
Where?
Oh, it says it right here.
Because it's the date
tie.
tie.
It's the date tie. I
Okay.
am nostalgic for that one. Julie, oh wait, what was that one that you just went up? See, I also like that one, 65, The Eyes Have It. And it's so small.
It looks like the Portland airport, kind of, maybe except in gray.
Yeah, see, but that's cute to me. It's not too much.
I will say there is also a current Tumblr account that somebody has that also goes over every single tie that is shown on the show.
Oh,
So if you haven't looked at that, you can look up that. It's on Tumblr.
Well, kudos to Manali for making this website back in the day. I believe it also was mentioned in, I want to say People magazine at one point in one of their little like here's what's on the internet sections, which was exciting. Yeah, it is a little sad that they stopped illustrating the ties after just say Noah. But like Julie said, it sounds like there are people continuing the good fight and keeping up on these things over on Tumblr. Do want to note the bottom of this website has one of the relics of the past, which
Aw,
was a web ring where you and anyone who had a similar site could get together and put
Yes.
this banner at the bottom of your page where you would basically be sending people off to a similar website that they might enjoy. And this was one
Oh,
way, definitely, that I discovered new sites. The problem was sometimes you would click next and it would lead you to a dead link, and
nothing.
of course,
Yeah.
then that wouldn't have
It would
anything.
end.
So then the ring was broken. But even so,
And that
what?
was, before we would doom scroll. I would call that my doom
Yeah.
scrolling from back then, where I would just next
Yeah.
place, next
Yeah.
next website. Some of them were better than others, for sure.
Yeah, and we hope to talk about all the websites that we remember, especially being fun and creative. And so, thank you so much for listening today. If you're watching the show along with us, the next episode we'll be covering is season 1, episode 18, That Man.
How do I find you?
You can find us on Instagram or Blue Sky as Folks Forever. That's FOLCSFOREVER. Or you can visit our website at folksforeverpod.wixsite.com/podcast. And until next time, please enjoy this amazing little ditty.
Smoke's rising high from the downtown sky. Who lit the match? Who told the lie? Elevator drops, a hero stands tall. Clark's in the middle, caught in it all. Flirting with Clark, she's crossing the line. Lois burns brighter every single time. Scoop wars, the ink runs red. Truth or lies, it's all she's fed. Who's pulling the strings behind the screen? The boss, the scheme, the stars machine. Clark in a tie, but he's undercover. The boss's plans, he's about to uncover. Scoop wars, the ink runs red. Truth or lies, it's all she's fed. Who's pulling the strings behind the screen? The boss, the scheme, the stars machine. Rivals in the headlines, ink like gasoline. Linda's such a bitch and she wants the whole damn scene. Rivals in the headlines, ink like gasoline. Linda's such a bitch and she wants the whole damn scene. Scoop wars, the ink runs red. Truth or lies, it's all she's fed. Who's pulling the strings behind the screen? The boss, the scheme, the stars machine. Bars, the scheme, the stars machine. Rivals in the headlines, ink like gasoline. Linda's such a bitch and she wants the whole damn scene.